Everyone. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we're reading from one of Srila Prabhupada's books, this book entitled Renunciation Through Wisdom, and under the heading The Science of Devotion, and this is on the topic of the Supreme Lord, lover of his devotees. What is the title?
Supreme Lord, the lover of his devotees.
And which heading?
Renunciation.
Renunciation through Wisdom, the Science of Devotion. We were reading yesterday in Avataridesh, Abu Dhabi, about the Supreme Lord, the incarnation of the Supreme Lord in Kali Yuga. That means the holy name. So today, this topic we will discuss the Supreme Lord, lover of his devotees. I will read, and as I read along, we will make comments. And if you like, also, you can raise your hands and ask any question while we're reading. Okay? Everyone can hear me?
Yes, Master.
Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Hare Krishna. You have a very fast internet here, so I don't think it will have any problem. The Supreme Lord, lover of his devotees. That's another meaning of that in Sanskrit. I believe it is Bhaktavatsala. Bhaktavatsala, lover of his devotees. Because the Lord is obliged for whatever service, it doesn't matter how small the service rendered by his devotees, the Lord is eternally obliged to reciprocate. And the reciprocation is to have the devotee increase more and more his or her love towards the Supreme Lord. As the Supreme Lord says, I cannot repay back my devotees. It's like he felt indebted to them. That is the nature of the Lord. He's reciprocating accordingly. So, as the Bhagavad Gita says also, Yeyatamam prapajyante tam stataiva bhajamiham. As they surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. And it doesn't matter, even indirectly serving the Supreme Lord. Even those who are worshippers of the Devotees, the Lord reciprocate to them through the demigods, even though the worshippers of the demigods, they don't know that the blessings and benedictions coming from the Devatas are coming from the Supreme Lord. The Devatas, they would rather have the worshippers of them to worship Lord Krishna himself directly. But because we are not all in the same level of surrender, even those who are materialistic, they surrender to the Devatas, not surrender. They don't surrender to the Devatas. They ask material benedictions. Even without surrendering, the Devatas also will give. True, the Devatas, but coming directly from Lord Krishna. Okay, so we'll read. Members of the so-called educated class ask, if one is busy all the time rendering devotional service to Lord Krishna, how is one to maintain himself and his family? It's a good question. Do you ask this?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Do you ask this yourself? If you devote all your time to Krishna, how am I going to survive? It's a valid question, isn't it? So this is Prabhupada asking. He is playing the role of a grihasta who is so much absorbed in Krishna consciousness, but does it happen? Rarely. Usually he's absorbed more in work and his family, and then the time that he renders to the service toward the Supreme Lord is not so much. He tried to adjust. He tried to find time and ways how we can be serving Lord Krishna. But he's caught up, entangled in materialistic activities, whereupon he's very, very not feeling satisfied at all that he's not able to service the Lord, do service to the Supreme Lord accordingly. Is that true? Yes or no? I don't know. I'm not Grihasta. But as far as I can see and I observe during my travels, this is the number one complaint. No time for Krishna, but plenty of time in other ways or other things. The so called educated men think only a fool would be blind to his immediate physical needs and uselessly waste his time in devotional service so he could rise to the platform of a Mahatma. Hmm. In fact, they think that a real Mahatma is he who strives to improve his material facilities from good to better. That is their misunderstanding. You're considered to be a great man if you'll be able to have a big villa, lots of cars, big bank account, surrounded by his autocratic family, and making them materially happy. Is considered to be a great personality. But according to the Bhagavad Gita, Mahatma means a great soul who is 100% surrender unto the Supreme Lord. And that is a very rare soul. A Mahatma, you cannot find or you cannot meet him walking in the street every day. Very rare. Considered to be also Mahatma are those who are renounced or sadhus or saintly personalities, but that is not exclusive only to those who are in the renounced order of life. Most of the associates of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they are grihastas. Very few are in the category of in the renounced order or in sannyas. Mostly are grihastas. And in our movement, in our disciplic succession, there are many, many great personalities or Mahatmas, even in the Grihastha ashram. Like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the Param Guru of our founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. Srila Prabhupada, he had 13 children. Can you match that? And still be Krishna conscious? it'll be very difficult. Even to maintain one child or two children is a big struggle. How to educate them, raise them up to be Krishna conscious, how to be sure that they become an ideal personality who's dedicating their lives ultimately in Krishna consciousness is very rare. So, so called educated men think only a fool would be blind to his immediate physical needs and uselessly waste his time in devotional service. Hmm. They think the other way around. That the real Mahatma is that one who is always striving to be a materialistic person, successful personality. They say that it is because of the economists' poor planning that the world is facing a major crisis in food production. Again, is that true? No. Of course, nowadays, everyone is converging in the city to look for employment. But there's a lot of empty spaces where you can grow vegetables, fruits, and have also farming projects that will be able to sustain one's life to exist and not be involved in so much materialistic pursuit living in the city. But why everyone is in the city? Why? Again, because why is this like struggling? A rat race, Prabhupada would say, rat race. Everyone is competing to live in a very, very comfortable, peaceful way. But there's no peace in the city. Some people, they cannot even sleep. They have to take pills to sleep and they have to take coffee to keep them awake. Huh? Is that the definition of being a Mahatma or successful? Then he has so many um, diseases, so many ailments, so much pain. Uh, poor planning. No, it's not. No, you have a very nice highway roads. Is that poor planning? No, it's not. But everything is geared up how to enjoy materialistic pursuit for sense enjoyment. That is not Mahatma. Both the economists and the critics should turn to Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, text 22, and hear what Lord Krishna has to say on this subject. Ananyas chintayantumam ye jana paryupashate te sam nitya viyuktanam yoga kshemam vahami aham. But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. It is relevant to mention here how in the Western world, one atheistic government tried to induce the innocent citizens to embrace atheistic views. The government sent their propagandists to proselytize the people in the villages. They asked the innocent villagers, "Why do you all go to church? Why do you pray to God for?" The villagers simply answered, God give us food. The atheists then led the villagers to the church and asked them to pray to God for food. The villagers, as simple faith, began to pray to God. At the end of their prayers, the officials asked them if they had received food or not. Bewildered, the people shook their heads. The atheists then asked the villagers to pray to them for food, which they did. Immediately, with a look of triumph, and the atheists brought out baskets of bread. The villagers became happy and thought that the government representatives were more responsive and productive than God. Hmm. So this is happening also nowadays. huh? Even in India, many those who are followers of the system of religion, we call it Hindus. When the Christians would come, they will give them plenty of food. Uh, they will supply them, even Lakshmi, they would give them. So the innocent people, they will think, oh, they're providing what we need. I think we should change our religion here. Let's become Christians. So many are being transformed into Christianity. Is that Krishna calling you? Is more important than Krishna. Yes, that's an unfortunate situation what's going on right now. Even in India, in the villagers. That's why it is increasing in rapid rate, the Christianity. Hmm. But this is also another propaganda which will not help them alleviate their miseries and sufferings. That is temporary. Ultimately, it is the representatives of the government who are responsible for the upliftment of everyone to be happy, not only materially, but specifically more of in the spiritual platform. Because that is the only way how one can be fully satisfied. Hmm. You give them food, you give them shelter, eventually they'll become hungry again. Hmm. So I say, if you teach them how to like find the food, you teach them how to grow their own food and have Krishna as a center, then they'll be really happy. That's why Prabhupada says, I have not finished my mission, fulfill my mission. I'm still missing 50% for my mission to be completed. And that is the Daivi Varnashram program, where people will live in the rural area and have Krishna as the center of their lives. They will grow their own food and have cows for milk, raise their children. They don't have to go to public schools. Hmm? But as Prabhupada says, these schools are considered to be slaughterhouses because they are missing the program whereby one can be realized the purpose of human form of life, killer of the soul. How can we kill the soul? Well, in human form of life, it is possible. The animal form of life, no, that is their karma. But in human form of life, our thoughts and our daily activity should be geared towards how to be always thinking of Krishna. That is a Mahatma. Alas, if only a devotee of the Lord had been present there, the villagers' devotion would not have been molested. That means we have a very big responsibility, especially those who took birth in Bharat. I love my Bharat. I love my India. Well, if you love your India, actually the whole planet is called Bharat, Bharat Varsha, planet Earth, after the king Maharaj Bharat. Hmm. It is everyone's duty, especially in human form of life, who are in Bharat, who took birth in Bharat. That means everyone responsibility to be Krishna conscious and also help others to be Krishna conscious. But especially in the land called India. In India, all the major cities they're changing back to the old names, isn't it? Huh? Calcutta. Now it's Kolkata. Huh? Bombay, Mumbai, um,
Banaras.
Benares, Varanasi, Prayagraj, or was it Madras? What is Madras now? Huh? Chennai, you know, Gurugram, Gurgaon, yeah, yes. And Modi is trying to help others to become self sufficient, trying to curtail the corruption. He's an ideal king, ideal ruler, but he cannot do it all by himself, also. And the devotees, especially in India, to help India to be Krishna conscious, especially in the month of December, we're trying to distribute millions of Bhagavad Gitas, not just lakhs, millions. In Delhi alone, they distribute lakhs and lakhs of Bhagavad Gitas. So, to be triumphant and to be able to slow down the very fast approaching Kali Yuga, only way how we can do it is by the devotees' very strong determination to help others to become Krishna conscious. In this month, especially, there was a message coming from the Prime Minister Modi, and in that message, the picture of our Guru Maharaj was there with him to give Gita. This is the best gift that one can give. No other gift. Because the message is eternal, it is applicable now and in the future, especially that Bhagavad Gita's message, if one study, read, then one's life can be transformed to become a pure devotee of the Supreme Lord and help others. It says here, if only a devotee of the Lord had been present there, the villagers' devotion would not have been molested. Prabhupada used the word molested. Molested means is improper act. It's beyond. It is sinful. Yeah, it is sinful to alter, to change the path whereby one is supposed to tread to. The neophyte devotee's standard devotion is always susceptible to damage, but bread, after all, does came from God and not from the atheist. If those villagers had been more conversant with the scriptures, the atheists would have never been successful in their evil plan. The simple villagers were illiterate, and hence they had no idea that the Supreme Lord alone can give them food. If the earth did not produce grain, then the atheists, despite their advanced material science, could never make bread or other foods. How can you produce grains and vegetables in the factory? Now they do some alterations. Huh? They change the DNA, uh, GMO, genetic modified food. Yes. Um, they put so much pesticides and insecticides and so many poisons, and then they're connected to the pharmaceutical business. The same people who produce this GMO, they're also connected to medicine, pharmacy. So they'll make you sick. Okay, we give you also the remedy how to cure your disease or sickness. But this medicine will make you more sick. It's like you're like what I'm talking about you. That means the whole world is like an ant being inside a log. Both ends there is fire. So the ant will go here. There is a fire. So the ant will go here. There's another fire. So he's trapped. He got nothing else. Nowhere else to go. But we fearlessly proclaim. Uh, Many may claim that in the modern age, material scientists have helped increase agricultural yield. That's not true. Many more food also are being thrown in the sea. You know, the farmers, you can only allow to produce a certain amount of milk. Yeah. And if you have excess amount of milk, you know what they do? They throw it. They throw it away. And the milk, how come the milk in the market they last for many months? You go in the village, and the milk has to be drank immediately within 24 hours. Otherwise, there's so many bacteria will grow that will make you sick again. I was talking with one devotee here. He works for the largest company, produces or their main products, milk products. He says they have 18,000 cows. But how do they milk them? Through violence also, isn't it? They inject so much hormones. So you better careful what you drink milk here. It's not really milk. I'm sorry. But you are in the city, so what can you do? And you have to feed your children like that, give them milk. It's not really milk. It's not milk anymore. That's why he says 2% milk, 2% fat, 0% fat. How do they do that? Because they modified the whole thing. So all glories to the scientist? No. But we fearlessly proclaim that it is precisely such atheistic views that have brought the world to the present acute food crisis. If we are not careful, the day will soon come when fruits will be reduced to just skin and seed. Is that happening right now? I just came from Mauritius, so they grow their own nice lychees and mangoes, not altered by so many chemicals. So I call it organic, but they don't have to say organic. But here in the city, everything that you see is organic, organic. How do you know that's just to make you buy, thinking, oh, this is more pure. So the higher the price, the better it is. How you sure? You're not sure. If we're not careful, the day will soon come when fruits will be reduced to just skin and seed. Cows' udders will dry up, and paddy fields will grow only grass. The scriptures predict that these things will come to pass in the Kali Yuga. In reality, the Supreme Lord is always protecting us. The inmates of a prison are being punished by the government, yet the same government feeds them and looks after them. You see, only Krishna, only God can protect us. How? I was just reading this morning. Because Krishna doesn't fear anybody. Anyone who does not have any fear, he can protect you. If he is fearful himself, then how can you be protected by him? Even the dead personified is afraid of Krishna. Krishna doesn't fear anyone, only with his mother, the stick, the Damodar Leela, right? But that is how Krishna would like to increase the loving relationship between the devotees and the Lord Himself. He plays that role where seemingly he is fearful of the stick that Mother Yasoda is holding. So, in reality, the Supreme Lord is always protecting us. But still, the devotees always pray, please protect me. Even though he does not have to ask for protection, automatically Krishna will protect him. But this is the mood of a devotee. He puts himself in a helpless condition and always dependent on the Supreme Lord. This is a devotee. He never thinks that, oh, I'll do everything. Yeah, Krishna will protect me. No. The more one advances in Krishna consciousness, the more he asks for protection. The more he asks, Krishna, please help me. The atheist, the materialist, those in the mode of darkness, ignorance, do they ask help from God? Obviously not. They only depend on themselves. By my strength, by my power, by my money, by my opulence, I can do anything I want and no one can stop me. He's a fool. That's what he called a fool. Ultimately, he'll be stopped at the time of death. He cannot do anything. He cannot buy one more second of life. Hmm. Similarly, says, in reality, the Supreme Lord is always protecting us. The inmates of a prison are being punished by the government, yet the same government feeds them and looks after them. Contradictory, isn't it? One is being punished, but also they may want to be sure that they are safe. Similarly, sinful atheistic people, though punished by the Lord's illusory energy, Maya personified as Durga Devi, are still fed and cared for by the Lord Himself. And if the Supreme Lord feeds and maintains even the worst sinners, reprobates, and helpless souls, then what to speak of those who are eternally surrendered to His lotus feet? This is what we call Krishna is equal to everyone. He is equal to everyone. Even those who are in the mode of ignorance, those who are sinful, who provides the food? Krishna. Even the animals in the forest, they don't have to put their money in the stock exchange, invest their money in bitcoins, and still they're having their hundreds and hundreds of fruits, kilos of fruits every day. Survival of the fittest. Even the tigers and the lions, they only eat maybe once a month, and still they survive. Yeah. But what to say of the devotees who are surrendered? You think Krishna will neglect them? He's not neglecting anybody. He will take care of them. He will provide more. He'll give them all the facilities so that their lives can be more dedicated in spiritual advancement. But we're so afraid to surrender. Oh, no, no. What will happen to me? No, no. If I surrender to Krishna, I'm not, I don't know what's going to happen. Am I correct? Of course. How will I enjoy? I don't want to be austere all my life. No, the reward is way, way ahead of us. That Krishna will provide everything. As it says here, I provide what they lack, yes, and I carry what they have. Is that correct? So whatever we have, He will protect, but He will give more. But we are afraid to surrender, thinking that, oh no, if I surrender, I lose everything. But actually, this is a symptom. This is the sign that Krishna is actually favoring us. When Krishna favors his devotee, he shows his mercy, he takes away everything that we are attached to materially. We have so many attachments. Each and every one of us has his own attachment. Nitai Jivan's attachment is different than mine. Gautam's attachment is different than mine. But we have to work on that attachment, the material attachment, by transferring them in the service of Lord Krishna. Attachments, yes, we can use that for Krishna's service also. We can utilize that in serving the Supreme Lord. That becomes bhakti. That is the difference. The materialists, they're attached also in so many ways, so many things, but they don't transfer. They don't use it for Krishna's service. They use it for their own enjoyment. And therefore, that same attachment is the cause of their sufferings. Miserable conditioned life, birth after birth. Prabhupada continues. He is like a king who takes proper care of his subjects. Prabhupada is talking about Krishna now. Hare Krishna. He is like a king who takes proper care of his subjects, but who especially looks after the needs of his near and dear relatives. He is like a king who takes proper care of his subjects, but who especially looks after the needs of his near and dear relatives. Therefore, it is not true that a comfortable life can be enjoyed only by those who perform ordinary pious activities, but not by the devotees who are free from furtive action and empirical knowledge. The devotees do not always suffer. Ah, probably. The devotees do not always suffer, for the Supreme Lord personally takes care of them. Yes, they take care. They're being taken care of by Lord Krishna. Krishna is equal to everyone, but especially he takes care more of his devotees. Hmm. The devotees are the Lord's relatives and family members. But actually, everyone is a devotee. But the difference is that others who does not acknowledge Krishna as a supreme Lord and who became averse about his being the supreme Lord and wanted to act independently from the supreme Lord's instructions, they became atheists. They became non-believers. This is the difference between the devotees and the non-devotees or the demons. The demons, they know also Krishna is God, but they don't acknowledge his supremacy. They want to become God themselves. Hmm. Just as ordinary people feel joy and satisfaction when they look after the needs and comforts of their family, just as ordinary people feel joy and satisfaction when they look after the needs and comforts of their family, the Lord also feels pleasure when he tends to the well being of his devotees. Thus, the Supreme Lord is known as Bhaktavatsala, the maintainer of the devotees. But he's never referred to as Karmi Vatsala, the maintainer of the fruitive workers, or Jnani Vatsala, the maintainer of empiric philosophers. The devotees of the Lord fully depend on him for everything, and so whatever they do to maintain themselves and their family is favorable to devotional surrender. Such pure souls are always fixed in devotion, never wasting a moment in activities outside the Lord's service. They're not assailed by materialistic desires because everything they do is for the Lord's pleasure. Hence alone they are truly peaceful. Shanti. Others, they're always worried. They're always in anxiety. The devotees also are in anxiety, but not like the materialistic anxiety. The devotees' anxiety is how can they can do more service to Lord Krishna. How can they help others to become Krishna conscious? How to give Bhagavad Gita to others? How to give this knowledge to others? How to give the holy name to others? This is their anxiety. If you don't have that anxiety, then that anxiety will give you headache. It'll give you trouble. The anxiety actually is the bliss of the devotees. The anxiety of the devotees is actually their happiness. What? Maharaj, I don't want to be in anxiety. Well, you don't know. If you are in anxiety about Krishna, that means you're getting closer to Krishna, and Krishna will reciprocate more to you. And in this way, you'll be more peaceful actually in the end, and you'll be happier ever than before. The devotee himself arranges for all expenditures incurred in executing devotional service. To an ordinary eye, earning and spending money in this way may look like sense enjoyment. But when the devotee is devoid of all material desires, the Supreme Lord feels great satisfaction in fulfilling all his needs. Is that true? Is that happening to you? Krishna provides, all of your needs are being provided. You got nothing else to ask for. So there's only one missing to increase our bhakti more and more. Of course, devotees are not hankering for all of these things. Automatically, Krishna provides. Yeah. To an ordinary eye, earning and spending money in this way may look like sense enjoyment. Hmm. No. We buy things to offer to Krishna. It's like food. Uh, you go to Carrefour and buy our necessities, buy our things that we can use for Krishna's service. Ah, spend money, earn money, spend money, but use it for Krishna's service. Though the obedient son may never express his wants to his father, the loving father spontaneously tries to make his son happy and derives joy from doing so. Yeah, we don't have to ask anything from Krishna ultimately. Just like the father, the son doesn't have to ask anything. Automatically, the father will know the needs of the son. Hmm? But sometimes the son may ask, Father, get me this. Or the daughter may ask, Mother, give me this. But even before the child asks the mother or the father, it's understood what the child needs are. Hmm. And he's so happy. The parents are so happy to provide. But we should not do it in such a way that, because these materialists are like this also, they want to make their family happy, the family members, the wife or the children to be happy, but not related to Krishna. So that is sense enjoyment, which means that is becoming more and more attached into family life that will prolong our stay in the material world. So we have to be careful not to go overboard. We should also tell if the child asks for something, and one should say, "My dear child, some other time." Abhinay, Batme, not now, after some time. I don't have money yet. The child also should understood the position of the parents. Child should not ask more than what the parents cannot afford. Yeah? They have to be also sensitive. It's reciprocation. The parents know the limits how the child can be happy because the child has needs also. But up to a certain point, otherwise it becomes sense enjoyment. But I want to make my child happy because when I see my child happy, I also become happy. But it has nothing to do with Krishna. You are gonna be in big trouble. Big trouble. the child will become spoiled, spoiled brat. That's what they call it, spoiled brat. Huh? That is, how do you draw the line? How do you draw the line? It's very difficult, especially if the child is not very, you may say, inclined to be Krishna conscious. Ooh, how? What are you gonna do now? You try your best to have your child to be Krishna conscious. At the same time, you want to restrict up to a certain amount of happiness that the child will want to have. How are you gonna adjust this thing? Hmm? So that's why the training of the child from the very young age must be there in spiritual life. The child should understand the significance of being Krishna conscious. That even though when they grow up, then they know they can also discipline. They are disciplined. Ah, that's the word. They are disciplined. But it takes, this is an art. This is an art, how to brought up your children so that they can understand ultimately the goal of life is to be Krishna conscious. Otherwise, they're going to the wrong direction. You want to fulfill their being happy, but they are not being Krishna conscious. So you're wasting actually the energy of the Lord. But how do you adjust? What are you gonna do? Huh? How far you can say yes? Because ultimately you have to say no. How far? How far you can say, okay, my dear child, my dear daughter, my dear son, this is only up to the limit I can give you. After this, I'm sorry, you should find a job yourself. You go and learn how to make money, how to earn money. To an ordinary eye, earning and spending money in this way may look like sense enjoyment. But when the devotee is devoid of all material desires, the Supreme Lord feels great satisfaction in fulfilling all his needs. Though the obedient son may never express he wants to his father, the loving father spontaneously tries to make his son happy and derives joy from doing so. Therefore, the Lord's devotees never lack anything, even materially, and at the end of this life, after leaving the body, they are situated in eternal bliss. That is real happiness. Everything else, Hare Krishna. That will prolong again. Ah, it says here. This is the transcendental wealth a devotee inherits. Hmm. Others, the fruitive workers, empiric philosophers, demigod, worshippers, and mystic yogis cannot attain eternal bliss. Although Lord Krishna is equally disposed toward all, he is nonetheless especially concerned about his devotees' well being. However, one should not conclude that the Lord is nepotistic. As he declares in the Bhagavad Gita 4:11, Yeya tamam prapajante tam stataiva bhajadmi aham. As all surrenders unto me, I reward them accordingly. Though the devotees are desireless and undemanding, the Lord always sees to their requirements. The devotees are ever joyful upon receiving such grace from the Lord. and there is no offense or sin in accepting his benediction. Here, one may pose a question. Why do only devotees of Lord Krishna attain to his transcendental abode? After all, the demigods are simply energies of Lord Krishna. And the scriptural conclusion is that the energy and the energetic are non different. Therefore, why can those who worship the demigods, Krishna's energies, attain to the transcendental abode of the Lord? In reply, let us first refer to what Lord Krishna himself says on this subject in the Bhagavad Gita 9:23. Yepi anya devata bhakta yajanti shadayan vita tepi mam eva konteya yajanti avidhi purvakam. Those who are devotees of other gods and who worship them with faith actually worship only me, O son of Kunti, but they do so in a wrong way. Any points? Any question? Yes.
If we are attached to a family member, children,
If we are,
attached
if you are not attached then.
no, we are attached to a family
Okay.
member, children, then how do we connect to Krishna consciousness to them?
Huh? You teach them Bhagavad Gita. You tell them the importance of realizing Krishna. Especially if you come in contact in Krishna consciousness at the moment that your child is still young. Tell them what is proper. Give them real education, real knowledge. Don't make them spoiled child. But the greatest challenge here is because they will go to a school where they will be associating with non devotees. It is unavoidable. Only if you brought up your child in such a way that you can homeschooling them, they'll be protected. They go to outside school, it's almost saying bye bye. They'll be influenced by them. But it is your duty to keep reminding them, but not force them. This is the same subject matter we talked about last night in Abu Dhabi. Don't force your children because the more you force them, the more they will rebel. Because at a certain age, they would like to express their independence. They will say, why are you telling me what to do? I know what to do. And we were like that also. You think there is no difference between us and them at a certain age? No, but we were fortunate. Somehow we have come. Hey, I have to change my way of thinking, my consciousness. Some will learn the hard way, and we don't want them to learn the hard way through their experience. If they're disobedient, they will learn the hard way. If they're obedient to you, they're like really exemplary child, then they'll follow mother and father till the end of their life. If they're not, Hare Krishna. What to do? Pray to Lord Krishna to help and protect them from the onslaught of Maya. It is big responsibility to have children, but a family without children is not a family. But Krishna has to be there in the center, right from the very beginning. I know a family, a god brother in America. These boys, they never watch TV. They never watch video. They don't have video games. You know how they spend their time? They learn how to play harmonium, mridanga, veena. They learn how to sing classical songs. No one is forcing them, but they had some natural interest right from the very beginning. They are homeschooling. Oh, you know what's going to happen to them? They'll be very powerful. Krishna conscious wise, they will also be able to help others. How about our other children? Oh, I want to become a doctor. I want to become a lawyer. I want to become an engineer. I want to become a pilot. Then what? Then waste my life in the material world. What to do? That is their karma now. You have nothing to do with that now. So you're not to be blamed. But always keep in mind to remind them again and again they should chant Hare Krishna, read Bhagavad Gita, and offer your food to Krishna before you eat. If they're not able to follow that, Hare Krishna. They'll be lost in the material world. But at least they got a little bit of punya for you to be Krishna conscious. You give some credits to them that hopefully in their future lives they will take up to Krishna consciousness seriously like the way you do. There's no hope for them except you as the parents. They got credits. Some of the credits are being transferred to them from the parents. And vice versa. If the children are Krishna conscious and the parents are not, whatever they're doing, some of them also are being the credits transferred to the parents. It's like it says that what? 50% credit goes to the wife, whatever the husbands perform spiritually. That doesn't mean that the wife should only chant 8 rounds. Okay? It's a big responsibility. If you're not sure that your child will become Krishna conscious, then better not have a child. That's what the Shastra says, right? Don't be a king, don't be a teacher, don't be a guru, don't be a spiritual master if you cannot save your subjects from the cycle of repeated birth and death. You're responsible. Yes? Any other points or comments? We're talking about reality of life here and whatever Prabhupada says. We're not inventing anything new here. The Bhagavatam is saying this millions of years ago. All the stories in the Bhagavatam, Dhruva Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Maharaj Katvanga, All the kings, King Prachinibarhisat, all of these stories. Any other points? Question? Yes.
Maharaj, you mentioned if someone is praying other demigods or something else, they are also praying Lord Krishna ultimately.
Yeah.
So even the someone is praying other religion is also
Yeah. Yeah. Because there's only one God. Indirectly, because they're accepting the supremacy. But it is not really like pleasing to Krishna that much. At least you are praying to my representatives. But that should not be the reason that you continue that. You should learn after some time that, hey, why shall I ask the demigods? I should go direct to the source. I should go direct to Krishna. That's why those Devata worshippers, they are considered to be less intelligent. Then after some time, when they become realized to understand that, hey, I should not waste my time. I don't want any more material desires. I just want to serve. I just want to please Krishna. Then you'll be taken care of. You don't have to ask. Then you don't have to ask. In the beginning, you ask the demigods. Yeah? But even they don't ask the demigods, you still be provided because why? Every one of us has his own quota of happiness and distress. Everyone is looking for happiness, but how is it that sorrow comes, unhappiness comes? We're not looking for it because of karma. So it's gradation. It goes to that. First karma kanda, then jnana kanda. In jnana kanda, cultivation of knowledge, then you've read, oh, this demigod provides this. I should worship Sarasvati. I should worship Lakshmi. Yeah? I should worship Surya. I should worship Lord Shiva. Yeah? But then you'll see, oh, the conclusion of the Vedas is to surrender to Vasudeva, to Lord Vishnu, to Lord Krishna. But that takes many, many thousands of lifetimes. Now this is the end. We have come now to the end. This is the end now. But it is not the end really. Now it's just the beginning of the end. You have to chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. You have to offer everything to Krishna. You have to serve the devotees. You have to read Bhagavad Gita. You have to get up early in the morning. Ah, but actually, it's easier to become a devotee than being a materialist because that is our nature. Once you start doing it, it's part of your life, everything is easy. You cannot miss one day. If you miss one day, getting up early in the morning and chanting your rounds, your day will be not the same. Not the same. Okay? Any other question? Mataji's? Yes. Haribo.
Like that's why we said there's already a quota fixed for happiness in this life.
Yeah.
Does that anyway change with the bhakti or it remains the same?
Material destiny change. Karma will stop as soon as you surrender to Krishna.
But in
previous one we have to.
Yeah, no, everything will be erased. It's like, the farmers to grow new crops. What do?
They let the
No, they burn. They burn. So it will not grow up anymore. That's why, there's a big pollution coming from that also, burning the fields, the farmers. So taking up Krishna consciousness means uprooting all of these desires to commit sins even in the future. Because the seed will also fructify, and there are more seeds coming from that desire to enjoy. Sin means desire to enjoy materially. That is the meaning of sin. That will be uprooted. And we will realize, I don't really need this. We think we need it, the material things. We need it. We use it for Krishna service. Yeah. Yeah. Not for our own enjoyment. If it is, as soon as we think it is for my own enjoyment, then that is sinful. You follow? You understand? Any other points or comments? Yes.
Maharaj, you said our nature is to go to Krishna.
That is our natural tendency to serve Krishna.
Most of the time, we find our mind
Going away,
away.
going in a different direction, that is natural. That is normal in the conditioned state. But in the liberated state, mind doesn't go that way. So that means we have to. The secret of success is to be consistent in serving, in meditating on the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. So you keep going to that direction. One day you'll end it. You'll end there. The tight rope. The balancer, the walker, tightrope walker. They have like a long. You've seen that in India also, like the kids. They will walk on the rope. Where do they look while walking? Yeah, they look in the end. They don't look. No. They look there. They don't. They know where to put the feet. They look like there. So don't be distracted by the mind, where the mind is taking you right now. You look where you're going. You're going to Krishna. That is my focus. That is my point of attention. Others, no, it will not distract me. Right there, I'm going there. And ignore the mind. You can tell the mind, my dear mind, just wait. Not now. I will entertain you, but let me chant my rounds. Let me do my sadhana. Let me read Bhagavad Gita. But the mind will say, no, 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 no. You have time. You have plenty of time for that. Listen to me first. But then you will say, who is saying? The soul. The intelligence. Ultimately, the soul. The soul should say, I'm sorry, my dear mind, you sit down here. I will entertain you. Let me finish my rounds. Like Haridas Thakur. Yeah?
Maharaj, what is the practical application of the verse which says you should not be a teacher, you should not be a parent if you cannot deliver?
Yeah.
In my example, I cannot guarantee that I'll be able to deliver. And in that sense, perhaps it is very difficult to confirm for each parent to have a child because they cannot guarantee. So, what is the practical application of
First, you must chant 50 rounds before the act of conception to have a child. Minimum 50 rounds, 50. You know how many hours is that? Maybe 6, 5, 6 hours. You have time for that?
So that
No,
No.
so you better not have a child. Because you have to prepare your consciousness and that act of conceiving a child. If you're not prepared, you better not do it.
So, Maharaj, what is the practical application? Because nobody has that time.
So better not do it then. You don't have time. Others will have time. You don't have time, right? Why? Because I have to go to work. I have 8 hours, 9 to 5 job. Then you better not do it. Because if you do it, then it's only sense enjoyment. And then what will be the result? You must do Garbhadan Samskar. There are 10 purificatory process in our life. Name giving ceremony, Anaprasan, Mandan. These are purificatory process. And if you cannot do it, then forget it. If you cannot do it, then forget it. I should have a t-shirt like that. If you cannot do it, then forget it. Don't be a father. Don't be a mother. It says in the Shastra. If the Shastra says like that, how can I change it? We cannot change that. Now let's say, I came to Krishna consciousness and not knowing it. Still, you have to try. Try your best. That is the practical application. If you say, oh no, it's too late. Never too late. There's never too late in Krishna consciousness. It always comes on time, right time. You may say, oh no, I'm already 55 years old. I just now come to Krishna consciousness. What can I do? How can I do it? No. That now is the right time for you. And you say, oh no, my children already 20 years old. I did not have time to bring them up to be Krishna conscious. What shall I do? That is the right time. Teach them about Krishna. Do whatever you can, the best you can. That is a practical thing. Okay. But if you know this from the very beginning, then you have to follow the process from the start. So even if you say, you're in the middle, no, so that's where you start, in the middle. Be the best example of how you be an ideal father and be Krishna conscious at the same time. I know some, the wife is a devotee and the husband eats meat. What to do? The wife wants to be a devotee, but the husband is eating meat. That's a big problem, isn't it? I hope you're not facing that problem, but that happens. Shall she cook for the husband? Yes. That's her duty. But that is really extreme. It's not Krishna, right? That's Krishna?
Krishna Das.
Okay, Mataji. You have a question?
Nowadays, the people are, devotees are not doing Garvadan Sanskar.
That's why you have to do it.
They're going for test tube baby or IVs like that.
They go what?
Yeah,
Test
test
tube?
tube baby or
So that's
IVs.
sinful.
So the children which comes out of that, are they going to be Krishna conscious?
It is still your duty. Let's say you adopt a child. You cannot have a children, right? You're trying your best. You cannot conceive a child. Then you ended up adopting a child. It's still your devotee. It's still your duty is to have that child to be a Krishna conscious devotee. You cannot say, "Oh, okay, what do you want? You can do whatever you like." No. Then why you adopt a child? It becomes part of you now. You admitted that child to be part of you. Your responsibility still remains the same. Yes? Mhm. We have to be practical. Krishna consciousness is very simple. And that is the problem. We're not simple. We're very complicated. If we're simple, Krishna consciousness can be done very, very nicely. Don't make yourself complicated. Be as practical as possible. Yes? Any other points or comments? Huh? In Abu Dhabi, in Dubai, it's easier to be Krishna conscious than if you are in India. I guarantee you that. I realized that after coming here for many years. There is an urgency for you to be Krishna conscious. If you're in India, you probably will not come to a satsanga like this. You will be surrounded by your relatives and Hare Krishna. Am I correct? Yes, definitely. So you should be thankful. But don't stay in Dubai for the rest of your life. Plan ahead that I'll be here, let's say, for 30 years, and that's it. I'm going back and help preaching in Bharat, Krishna consciousness. I know someone in Abu Dhabi, he's been here for 32 years, but he's trapped with so many responsibilities that he has to take care of. He wants to get out as soon as possible, but he cannot get out. But on the other side, there is a devotee there. He's retiring. He's going to India. He's going to live near a temple and he's going to help. In February, that's it. There's a devotee in Mauritius. She's retiring. She's still young. She's retiring in February. She will devote most of the time in the temple, help the temple, book distribution, and so on. So I think you will know your limits, how far you can go and spend your time here. Once it's over and you still remain here, Hare Krishna. It's not gonna be the same anymore. You must have a long-term plan. Yeah? By that time, my children will be already grown up. They'll be fully independent. Why stay here? They're already educated, they're already married. Why stay here? Yes? Okay, I will stop here now. If there's no more question.
But
Yes.
Maharaj, you are saying like we should plan long term. So suppose uh, to settle in Braja, what how we should
Huh?
stay here in Dubai.
What's that again?
In long term, suppose we want to go and get place in Braja,
Yeah.
then what how we should live here? With what how
Where?
in Dubai?
In Dubai, do your best to live an ideal grihasta, huh? And purify yourself. Then one day, when you're really ready to move to where you're planning to move, then you're very ready. You're very, very powerful spiritually. That you'll be also able to help others in their Krishna consciousness. Right now, the best thing we can do is to save myself. And whatever I can do, little things to also help others become Krishna conscious, we should also think about that. But our main concern first is I have to be focused in my spiritual life, in spite of being in a very, very materialistic country. I never seen any materialistic country in the world in my travels when it comes to UAE, especially Dubai. Everyone is running back and forth here. Yeah. So don't forget your main purpose ultimately. Yeah. Okay. Srila Prabhupada K. Nitai Gaur Sitanath Premanande. Hari Om Tat Sat. Thank you very much. Oh, there's a question here. Let me see. Hmm. My question is how we can stay already in our sadhana and sincere always in our Krishna consciousness. Just do it. Associate with others who are also enthusiastic. Why we feel someday low and in our daily spiritual routine. That is natural. Condition means going up and down, up and down. So that means we should be steady. And when we're steady, we should slowly and gradually try to rise from the modes of material nature by having a strong sadhana. Okay, this is good. There are some questions here from YouTube. Okay, we ended up here now. Nitai Gaur Sitana Premanande. Hari Om Tat Sat.